Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the Season 4 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Ghost. So overall, I really liked this episode kind of setting up the tone for Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because each season kind of a new thing because we have to deal with the aftermath of the movies that came before, and in this one you can clearly see the Civil War and Ultron have had huge ramifications, and they're talked about because of the actions other characters are doing, and we're kind of seeing them set up stuff for the Doctor Strange movie with broadening it to not just superhuman threats, but supernatural threats, and that's going to be pretty cool. And my only kind of gripe was kind of where the main cast that we've had has been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this time, because it kind of doesn't make any sense how it happened, in my opinion. But then again, this is just the first episode, so they could work our way through it and kind of figure out what's going on. So we open up and we see Daisy on her own, and we don't have a clear picture of why, but later on she's talking about how she doesn't want to lose any more people, and I guess that's her way of making sure that she cuts off everybody so that she has nothing to lose. So evidently the Lincoln death has affected her more than we had realized, and she's kind of become a vigilante on her own, using her powers extensively, and so extensively that it's injuring herself, and that she needs like very advanced medicine in order to make sure that she doesn't break herself apart with her quake powers. And she uses them very effectively and very often. It's really kind of cool to see her use the training that she's received under May and like augment it with these powers. She's not afraid to use them, and that's pretty cool, since she's finally gotten the moniker of Quake and all that in the tabloids and going after watchdog groups and all that. And in the beginning, we see her going after these like Aryan Brotherhood people who have been, I think, supplying them, and also like Chinese kind of gangs in Chinatown and LA. But it's kind of weird because they're trying to get away from something, and she's stopping them. But then, right as she's about to get into some stuff, the Ghost Rider comes in his 69 Charger, which is amazing. I'm a sucker for muscle cars, and especially nice muscle cars. And I was like, why does that dude have a rocket launcher? And I was like, this scene, it's the smoking gun. So they shoot it at the Charger, and I thought it was going to look hokey, but you can tell that their budget has been vastly increased, and when it hits the Charger and flips it over and it transforms into the Hell Charger, it was a really very good use of effects. It was a lot better than what I expect on TV. Maybe not as good as movie, but pretty good and serviceable. And then we get the Ghost Rider calling and going after these guys, and he kills people, man. This, you can see why it was shifted to 10 o'clock instead of 9, but I'm like, yeah, but we've seen kind of same stuff at the 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I would just really want a good Netflix show where they let the Ghost Rider loose. But what I've seen so far in this episode, the Ghost Rider is going to be in very capable hands, though there are some changes. So Daisy's like, what the hell's going on with this? And then kind of goes off, and we see Mac and Coulson, and they have been on like weeks on the Zephyr, and kind of like going after Daisy pretty much, even though they're not supposed to officially be on it. And for some reason, Coulson has relinquished the role of director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's kind of really weird because even though he had a lot of big things to deal with, he is the kind of director that you would want. He's open with his teammates when he can be. He keeps things to the chest when they need to be kept to the chest, but ultimately divulges it to the team. Because after that, we see that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been bogged down now by bureaucratic systems and codes and colors and trust things that's like, oh my god, how do you get anything done? It's like, oh, we want to try and prevent Hydra from infiltrating again. You're making it pretty easy by being so paranoid. And it's like, okay, this, even if this new director is cool and everything, he's gonna have to change his way up and become kind of faster and looser, because these threats aren't going to take time for you to research and figure out what's going to be the best option. Sometimes you're going to have to be under the trigger, under the gun, and have to make that gut call. And we'll have to see if he's going to be able to do that. So we see that May is pretty much in charge of training the recruits and everything, and making a task force. And she had called in Coulson and Mac to give information for them for Daisy covertly because they're not supposed to be going after her. So like, oh, go check this out. All right, cool. We also see Fitz and Simmons is pretty much the only one of them in a position of trust and power with the director, which means that she's kind of consumed by it. And Fitz is kind of a little bit jealous, it looks like, of that, and rightly so, because they've just gotten together after all the crap that they've been through, and it doesn't seem that they have time together. So that was a pretty cool thing that they did. And so Mac and Coulson go off, do their cool thing, and Fitz is like, okay, I'm going to go watch the game with Radcliffe. And I'm like, all right, we're getting a lot of good characters, getting a lot of cool character moments. So Coulson and Mac are going, they check in with Yo-Yo, even though it's a week early, and they're going through all this stuff, and she's having this fun interplay with Mac, and I'm like, you guys there's chemistry there. It should be explored, and it was cool that Yo-Yo's putting herself out there and everything, and Mac, he's tried to follow these new rules, and it's just like, dude, sometimes in that line of work, you just gotta go for it. Otherwise, you're gonna either end up a villain, killed, or mutated. Or some combination of the three. It usually happens in comic books. It's gonna happen on the show, so go for it. But it was really cool, and it wasn't overplayed. It wasn't like, oh god, they're trying to force two characters together that don't have chemistry. No, it worked. It's gotten to the point, there are 4 seasons in, they can do this with characters. It's really cool. So, are going off doing that. Yo-Yo appraises Daisy that they're looking for her and everything, gives her some shield medicine to heal herself. And she's like, don't want attachments, going off trying to find the Ghost Rider car and everything, trying to find that guy, because 69 Charger, that's pretty unique. You're going to be able to find someone who's got it, especially with the blowers and everything. So, they're doing that. Coulson and Mac are trying to figure out what's going on, finding the truck that the Aryan Brotherhood had left off because they stole it, because the Chinese gang wanted it for some reason. And also, we get big repercussions. Because with Fitz and Radcliffe, we find out that Radcliffe has made what we are going to be terming the life model decoys. He has created essentially robots. And they're talking about that, and it's like, no, it's not AI. It's not like Ultron, but it's like a mimicry of humans. I'm like, you're gonna need an AI to do that. Because you can tell a computer how to mimic emotions and all that, but an AI is gonna have to direct that kind of stuff. And Fitz is freaking out. It's like, oh my god, it's really good, but Gemma would have to do it to the director. And Radcliffe, I don't know if I believe his reasoning. He's like, you and Gemma have lost people, and I want to prevent that. Put these people these things in the field instead to protect your people. It's like, okay, that's a really good idea. Is that all that you're looking for? Because I honestly would have taken that you were trying to make a sex robot. You know, it was kind of like, okay, or you were trying to do something for nefarious goals, but I like the nuance of this character because you don't know what he's trying to go after. He seems genuine, but what's his end game? What's his plan? What does he get out of this? Now, granted, it could be that he's just trying to push technology and push that boundary and push and just make and create for the sake of creating, which I completely understand. But if you go too fast, if you fly too high, your wings are going to burn. So they're doing that. Gemma figures out that May was the one that told them about a possible Daisy sighting, and she has to reprimand her and send the team out to try and get Coulson and Mac. And as they're doing that, they have found the Chinese gang and what's going on, because they found that like a lot of people were dead inside of the trailer, and they're outside of the drop that's going on, and the people open up the box and they start freaking out. It looks like a ghoster kind of thing, or a spirit of some sort, but we don't quite know. It makes the people with the guns, the kind of top of the Chinese gang, freak out and see that like people had different eyes or whatnot. They started shooting and everything. That's when May's team comes in, gets all their cool gear up and going, and goes in and ices everybody and puts them on the Zephyr, and they kind of bug out before they have a chance to like look for Daisy or anything. So they go off, And a thing that we see is that this spirit, ghost, or whatnot has affected May because she looks at Coulson at one point and sees the eyes. So this is some kind of threat that's going to be very interesting because this isn't something that you can punch or figure out in a physical means. This is supernatural. This is going to be a very different fight than what other people are going to be used to. And as that's wrapping up, we see Daisy confronting Robbie Reyes as the Ghost Rider. She goes to the junkyard, and we see more of him. Now, his origin has been changed from the comic books, which I'm okay with, but I like his origin in the comic books. His origin in the comic books is that he is, instead of possessed by a spirit of vengeance, he is possessed by his murdering uncle's spirit. And instead of a flaming skull, he has a flaming skull helmet. And I know those are not big changes, but also he was a high school student in that. Whereas in this, he is out of high school and supporting his brother, who is paralyzed from the waist down, and he has to take care of him. And that they kept, and you can see this actor did a good job as Robbie Reyes, in my opinion. So they changed it to be more in the line of the traditional Ghost Rider vehicle, flaming skull, which after Daisy started confronting him, which he had been torturing the one Aryan dude, crushed him up. A great fight sequence, and the effects for the Ghost Rider were top notch. Almost movie quality. And I'm just saying because there could have been a little bit of weirdness, but very good Ghost Rider effects. I was very happy with this. And I can't wait to see what else they're able to do with him and what the Ghost Rider is capable of, because he took Daisy out. And it's funny because she's talking to him about that he killed all these people. He's like, wasn't me that killed him. And it's like, so there's the other, the spirit of vengeance. And you see him like making things into hellfire. I'm like, yes, this is the Ghost Rider. This is how it's supposed to work. This is cool. I can't wait to see when the Ghost Rider form actually talks. That's going to be interesting to see the difference between Robbie Reyes and the Ghost Rider. Now, granted, we didn't get too much, but we saw the vigilante persona of Robbie Reyes, and it was cool. And then we also saw his brotherly side for his brother Gabe, and that was awesome. The actor did a very good job, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to grow in this role and what he's going to do, because he's going to have to be brought into the team and the fold at some point, because these supernatural threats, he's going to be the only one who can deal with them. And that's going to be how he deals with them, how he's able to work with the team. That's going to be the cool stuff. And I can't wait to see what's going to be happening. This is a really good, effective episode to kind of show that and show where they're kind of going. And it's like, okay, we've dealt with inhuman threats. Let's deal with supernatural threats. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.